Hey guys, Maya here, and today we're making a tier list. What kind of tier list, you might wonder? Well, you can see Wuthering Waves characters behind me, so clearly we're going to rank them according to their power, right? Nah, we're doing a waifu tier list. So like, comment, subscribe, and let's dive in. I did make a tier list like this back in 1.0, but this is 2.0 and we have a lot more characters to think about. I am going to take a little bit of inspiration off of the tier list I did back then, in that we need more tiers. S, A, B, C, and D ain't going to cut it, and I don't like those letters as names anyway, so be right back. Okay, there we go. So I did change the names a little bit, and I took one tier out from the previous video. There was one between booty shorts and waifu that was called Visceral that I questioned. I would like to marry them too, right? Well, guess what? I talked to my waifu and I have multiple wives now. So here we go. First up on the list, the one and only, the queen of booty shorts, the female Rover, right up there in booty shorts. I love the Rover. I have a lot of fun playing her, and especially since Spectro Rover got a huge buff in 2.0, I've actually been using her as a main DPS. But we're not really here to talk about that. I just wanted to say she's hot and she looks good whooping ass. Anyway, the male Rover, he's also hot, but he's a guy. I have a tier dedicated to just the men, don't worry. I'm not saying that I don't like them. In the previous video, that tier was called The Reason I'm Only 95% Lesbian. I just wanted to change the name up a little bit in this video, okay? Anyway, let's continue. Chixia. Miss Chixia, she is also a booty shorts person. I love booty shorts. I love looking at them. And she especially reminds me of myself, all right? I want to put her ahead of female Rover, to be honest. But her appearance reminds me of myself. Like, she wears the kind of clothing that I prefer to wear. And she's a redhead. She's a little fiery. She's a little cute. She's also a little silly. I can't help it. I see myself in her some, okay? Anyway, Yang is next. Where does she go? She's very pretty. Now, in the previous video, this tier was called Hot as Fuck. We're going to have a lot of crossover from this video to the last video. Really, we're just here to add the old characters to the new, but maybe I have some more stuff to say about the older characters. Yeah, it's a little fun. We can go over them all. And of course, the mommy category didn't change at all. Miss Baizhi, mommy vibes. Now, Sanhua. My goodness, Sanhua. Where does she go? She doesn't wear booty shorts. She kind of has mommy vibes. She's very hot. So where does she go? When I first started playing the game, day one, and got up to the scene where the Rover meets Sanhua, her voice gave me goosebumps. Now, this is a huge, huge compliment to the voice actress. That voice actress sold this woman's voice, okay? That combined with just how beautiful Sanhua is. She went into the visceral tier last time, but since we don't have a visceral tier now, I'm just married to them. She's also the reason why I skipped Roccia. As much as I want that cute thing, she could be my daughter. Roccia, sweetie, you are special. You are my daughter. Even though I don't have you on my account, I claim you as my own. And remember, guys, if they're in the top tier or the bottom tier, no looting allowed. You loot them in my comment section, well, let's just say you won't be in my comment section anymore. Anyway, Roccia is a cutie. I love getting to play her as a trial character. Like in one of the events that are live right now, you can play her as a trial, and she's just a lot of fun. Mamma mia. Like, she speaks like, she says mamma mia very deadpan like, and it's just, something about it is very adorable to me. I don't really know. I can't describe it, but she's very cute, very adorable, and I claim her as my daughter. Now, I kind of skipped a lot of characters to go to Roccia, but look, I was talking about my wife, Sanhua, and our daughter, Roccia, okay? I had to talk about them in the same breath. But anyway, the Discord moderator, Yuanwu, yeah, he's pretty hot. I almost broke down and leveled him, but he's still level 1 on my account. I almost broke down and leveled him because he does vibration and coordinated attacks. But it wasn't enough to convince me to use mats that I want to use on all of these pretty women and all these cute daughters. Anyway, yeah, I didn't level him, but he is pretty hot. Next up, Taochi. What do we do with Taochi? My opinion of her hasn't changed at all since 1.0. I put her in the mommy tier. I'm putting her in the mommy tier again. She still gives me mommy vibes. I've actually leveled her and played her a bit in some of my newer teams, you know, just to test some stuff out. And even in combat, she gives me mommy vibes. Like, she gives you a shield. She's going to protect her babies, right? Anyway, Danjin. Still haven't seen her in game. Maybe there's a quest that does have her in there that I'm not aware of, but I have not seen her in game yet. But she is very pretty. I like playing as her. I am bad at playing at her, but I like playing her. She's very pretty. I have a soft spot for redheads, partially because I am a redhead. But yeah, she goes in the hot pretty category. Aalto. Aalto's a little special. Like if I had 2 tiers for the dudes, Aalto would be in the higher tier of the 2. But we're just going to put him ahead of the others. That's something we're going to do that we didn't do in the previous video. Last time, we just threw everyone in the order that they appeared down here. Like as we got to them, we just added them in, but I'm going to reorder them a bit. I think Aalto's a little more special than these 2. Now, given lore-wise, the Rover, kind of special, but my Rover is the female Rover. The male Rover is just kind of there, all right? Just for the sake of being there on this tier list. He's not my Rover. He's your Rover if you play him. I play the female Rover, so holy yap, let's move on. Aalto. I like Aalto. I know who the voice actor for this person is because I recognized his voice right away because I played Dark Knights. Mr. James Day. Good work voicing Silver Ash. Good work voicing Aalto. Silver Ash was one of my favorite characters in Dark Knights. I won't go into the details there, but TLDR, his skill 3, basically his ultimate, was a nuclear bomb. And he's where the swing meme came from, as far as I know. Anyway, moving on. Mortefi. I really have a lot to say about Mortefi. He's a dude. He's pretty good looking. Pairs with Jiyan, does coordinated attacks. I've wanted to level him, but I don't really have a use for him beyond his coordinated attacks because I don't have a heavy attacker. Except Jianxin, but I'm not going to use Jianxin as a main DPS. So, but we're here just to rate them on how good looking or how lore-wise much I like them. I'm gonna put him ahead of Yuanwu, but behind Aalto. All right, Encore, my firstborn daughter. She is adorable. I love her very much. I still use her to this day, and I'm still trying to get better echoes on her. I cannot get good echoes on her to save my ass. I fucking swear she's the one character that is impossible to gear on my account. But I love you anyway. You're my daughter, and I want to give you the best stuff I can give you, but I just can't get good stuff to give you. Anyway, I haven't finished her companion quest, but I think I'm going to do that next stream. What I do remember of her companion quest, it's been a few months since I started it. It was very cute, very adorable. Encore is just special, okay? And then there's Miss Verina. I claim her as my daughter, just as Roccia. I don't know if I want to put her before or after Roccia. I kind of like them the same. Like if Encore is the older sister, these 2 are the same age. Verina's very cute. I like that she has her flower aspect. I wish she'd get on the damn ground easier when you're trying to do her stuff. Like you have to get on the ground to use her ultimate. That's a little frustrating, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to knock her down any tiers or, well, obviously all of my daughters go in the daughter tier, so I can't change them. But if I had 2 daughter tiers, I wouldn't put any of them in the lower tier anyway. Moving on. So last time, my cousin has weird kids was just labeled no, but I wanted to make it a little more appropriate. Lingyang, he's one of my cousin's weird kids, okay? There's one other on this list that is my cousin's weird kid, Youhu. I don't claim either one of those as my own. Yuhu's a little weird. Lingyang's a little weird. Youhu at least is cute, but I don't know. I don't really like her personality. Is what it is. She's my cousin's weird kid. Anyway, Calcharro, or actually I found out his name is actually pronounced Calcharro. In game. So Calcharro goes with all the other dudes. But have you seen this man? Have you seen how fucking beautiful this man is? Look, I know people like him because he looks like Sephiroth. And I know someone made a video of him clearing some of the hardest content, some of the hardest holograms in the game, and it looked really good doing that. This man has muscles that show through his clothing. I know he's wearing skin-tight clothing, but damn, he looks good. I'm sorry, Aalto, but he's just a little hotter than you. But you tried. You're still number 2 on the list for now. Jianxin, booty shorts monk. I liked her just as much then as I do now. Or I guess I should say that the other way around. I like her just as much now as I did then. We are putting her right here. Except I kind of want to put her up here in the front because she is, honestly, I said the female Rover was the queen of booty shorts, but I gotta rescind that and give it to Jianxin. I'm gonna be honest here. She just looks, she looks great in her booty shorts. And I can't wait till we get a skin for her. If we get a skin for her. Look, I'm hoping, maybe it'll come. Anyway, moving on. Jiyan. This man is beautiful. More so to me than even Calcharro. I wish I had him on my account. I would actually level him. Now, I'm not married to any guys, but if I were, he would be one of the 3. He would be one of the 3. Can you guess which other 2 on this list belong to that? There's only a couple more guys left on the list, but can you guess which 2 would also go with Jiyan up here if I were to marry them? Look, we can have a male waifu, okay? Yinlin, mommy. Okay, so last time, she hadn't come out yet. We hadn't seen her story yet, but she still gives me mommy vibes. She still gives me mommy vibes. Just being honest. She took care of that kid very well, even though that kid was kind of, spoiler alert, was a robot. But I mean, I appreciated it quite a bit. Now, the next person was the only one that got put in the waifu list the first time, but since we're combining 2 tiers from last time into one, I have to make a distinction. While Sanhua is a wife, and there's a few more on here that's a wife, Jinhsi is my first wife. I like her no less now than I did then. In fact, I like her more because I have her on my account and I love playing her. I wish she was better at exploration. She's really hard to use out in the open world just because of how her kit works. She's not good at mobbing. She's great at blowing up targets with big HP, not so much groups of targets with small HP. She takes a bit of a build up, which is why I like playing the Spectre Rover out in the world, because Spectre Rover just smacks something and it's dead. But I digress. Jinhsi, my first wife. Okay, next. Changli. Changli is my first wife's mentor, and she gives me mommy vibes. I tried to get her. I rode for her. I lost the 50-50. I couldn't get her. I wish I could. Every time I get to play her as a trial, I do. And sometimes I do a V or TOA. They have her. I have a little fun. I like her playstyle. She does feel a little weak, honestly, but we're not going to give them any different. Like I said, we're not giving anyone a different tier here because of their power. But she gives me mommy vibes. She is the rank 1 mommy. All right. So next, Xiangli Yao. He would be right here if I married any of the guys. I am very much considering making him my first wife, my first male wife, excuse me. But I'm not quite there yet. I'm a little hesitant to do that, but you know, he goes ahead of Jiyan, just barely. All right, just barely. Next up, Zhezhi. Zhezhi is a character that when she came out was very slept on. People did not realize how powerful she was and how much potential she had. She buffed glacial and skill damage, but she also had coordinated attacks. When I found that out, I pulled her instantly. I went right for her. I liked her aesthetic. I liked what she did for my team. My team at the time was just Jinhsi. I had no other limited characters, but I pulled her. Actually, did Xiangli Yao come out before Zhezhi? I don't remember, but I know Zhezhi came out before Shorekeeper or Camellya, so anyway. I pulled Zhezhi to pair with Jinhsi, and boy, did that work. Zhezhi, Jinhsi, and Verina with all of their coordinated attacks. That was a beautiful team. Still is, as a matter of fact. But Zhezhi pairs with Carlotta, so whenever I go into the tower, I have to pick which team she goes with. But fortunately, I do have a backup for Jinhsi, or I have a backup for Carlotta, whichever I need to use the backup for. We're going to put Zhezhi in pretty. I'll put her in my number 1 pretty. My backup, by the way, is Lingyang. I slept on her personally. I slept on her for a long time. I started building her recently. She's a lot of fun. She pairs quite well if you don't have a better partner, like say Yinlin or Changli. She pairs quite well with Xiangli Yao. She will ensure that he can immediately go into his liberation. The ER requirement on him goes down, which makes him easier to build. You don't need as much ER, which means you have a little bit more freedom to choose double crit pieces without ER. But again, I may be making some comments on power. We're not going to rank anyone on their power here. But Lingyang is quite fun. And Carlotta uses so much fucking liberation energy. So when I can't use Zhezhi with her, when I use Zhezhi with Jinhsi instead, I can put Lingyang with Carlotta and I don't suffer for having to wait to use her liberation. The reason why I don't use Lumi or Taochi, even though they both buff skill damage with Carlotta, the reason I don't use either one of them with Carlotta is it's very hard to use either one of them and start Carlotta's ultimate right away. You have to have a lot of ER to make those two work. Whereas with Lingyang, she buffs just as well as either of them. Even actually, Lumi's buff is only 10 seconds. Let's be real. She's not going to do good for Carlotta, even if you get the liberation right away, because the big hit of Carlotta's liberation is going to take more than 10 seconds. But yeah, I slept on Lingyang. She's pretty, she's good. I like using her. She's a universal support. Let's be real. She can be paired with literally any DPS in the game. Very slept on character, especially if you have her at S6. She can actually put out some decent damage. She can be a decent sub DPS while being a buffer. I think she's pretty special. That's why I started leveling her, and she's very pretty. Anyway, next, Miss Shorekeeper. I've been thinking about where to put her if I was to do another waifu tier list. Clearly, I can't put her in daughters since she's not a child. I mean, kind of. She could be the Rover's child, considering the lore, but she presents as an adult. And she's very old, so I can't put her here and be comfortable with it. I also don't care that she's the Rover's basically kind of creation. She's her own woman, okay? She had a lot of character growth in the 1.3 story I loved the Black Shore storyline. Something special about Shorekeeper. She's not just pretty, she's very kind, and she plays piano. I found out that the Rover plays piano because of her. I mean, everyone found that out in the story, right? But she's a musician, and that's special to me. If I still had the visceral tier, she would easily go in that. But since I married all of my visceral tier, Shorekeeper is one of my wives. Does that mean I need to put the Rover here in mommy? Nah, she stays in booty shorts. Next up, Camellya, one of the other characters that went into visceral tier. Just her and Sanhua at the time. When we first met Camellya in the story, right after we went... Was it right after or right before? I think it was right after we went and met with Verina. You know what? You want to know why I thought her as visceral? You can go look at the other video. That video is timestamped and it will be linked in the description and the pinned comment. But suffice to say, I married all of my visceral crushes. She's my wife now. Lumi, I don't really have a lot to say about her. I skipped through the story for the Solemnus. I wasn't engaged by it. I gave it a shot. I played it mostly off stream. I didn't really like it, so I skipped through it. I mean, I kind of get the premise, like where, you know, the train coming into the real world's kind of bad, could potentially be a world-ending threat. I mean, I didn't vibe with that story. It's not a big deal. If someone doesn't like a story, they shouldn't be pressured to watch it. Thank you, Kuro Games Weblays, for having a skip button. But that said, Lumi is very pretty. She's kind of hot in that tight suit, not gonna lie. She's a little wonky to play, but I'll put her in hot pretty. Next up, Carlotta. Oh my, in the 2.0 story, we had a lot of character bonding between the Rover and Carlotta. Where do we put her? Well, clearly we don't put her in the top or bottom tier, or that tier. So she goes somewhere in here, right? She's not a mommy. She is very hot, very pretty. If you look closely under her dress, kind of looks like booty shorts. Look, I know they're panties, but they look like booty shorts, okay? But I can't really justify putting her there for that. But I fell in love with her character. I like how she developed. Like, I'm including her character story as well. We played that after the 2.0 story. I love her character development. Like, I'm not going to go into any details here because spoilers, maybe someone hasn't had the chance to play through it yet. I liked it very much. She would go into visceral if I still had visceral, but since I don't, Carlotta goes here. Now, unlike with the male waifu tier list, the hot pretty tier list, the mommy tier, did I say male waifu? I also said tier list on each one. Anyway, unlike all of these tiers, I'm not ordering this one by anything special except the first one. The first one is the first wife. The rest of them are all equal in my eyes. Next, Pheobe. I am not quite sure. At the bare minimum, she goes here. Ain't that something? Have you guys noticed at this point, by the way, that there's not a tier of this character is ugly? At the bare minimum, this game has hot or pretty characters. You can't say that about a lot of games. I mean, except for these two down here. They're weird, but anyway. But Pheobe, where did we go? At the bare minimum, she goes here, right? We got to see her in the 2.0 story a bit. I like her. I don't have enough to really bond with her yet. Hopefully in the next bit, we get to know more about her. But for now, I'm going to put her in hot pretty. She's a very pretty character. I don't know enough about her to know if I want to marry her. So she stays in hot pretty. She doesn't give me mommy vibes. I really like her outfit, honestly. Judging off appearance alone, like I'm gonna be honest, guys, I'm weak to blonde. If I had to judge her just off of what I know of her right now, honestly, she would go in visceral. I want to know more about her. Maybe this is an arranged marriage, okay? This is an arranged marriage. I gotta get to know her better. Now, I'm not saying I won't divorce anybody in a future tier list. It can happen, but I kind of don't think it's going to happen. I like Pheobe quite a bit. Tune in when 2.1 drops and we pull for Pheobe live at twitch.tv/Mayavel and also on YouTube, this channel. I stream on this channel too. Anyway, next up, Brandt. Brandt is something else. I tell you what. Yep, he beats out Xiangli Yao. Those three are the ones that I would add to my waifu tier list if I was marrying dudes. Man, I'm about to have a whole ass baseball team worth of partners. Holy shit. I forgot the word. Polycule, that's it. Basically, this is a very big polycule. 6 women, 3 guys if I put them up there. And we haven't even gone through the last few characters here. But Brandt, that man is fucking hot. All right. If we get lucky, maybe he's the first guy that comes on my account. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Brandt was pretty special in the story. I liked his character. I love his appearance. I would love to get him as a character. But until that time comes, maybe we get lucky, maybe we don't. We still have more to go through on this tier list. Zani at the bare minimum gives me mommy vibes. But her outfit was something special, and she also accompanied us through a lot of the story. We had a lot of bonding time with Zani, and I really like her as a character. Again, I'm not going into specifics because maybe people haven't watched yet. or played or whatever, but she would be in Visceral. My polycule expands. This character, I don't know. She's very pretty. I don't know anything about her. She doesn't give me mommy vibes. She's very pretty. I don't know anything about her other than she's the Sentinel Imperator's resonator. We didn't get any time with her until the very end, and only like a couple minutes. Hopefully we get to see more of her in the future patches. I'm looking forward to getting to know who she is, but for now she's being hot pretty. Unlike Phoebe, we actually did get a bit of time with Phoebe. I want more time with Phoebe, but unlike Phoebe, we barely got any time at all with her. And I didn't even know she existed until the very end of that story. For now, she goes there. And now we go into the two facts of this characters. First up, I want to skip to Scar. Man is beautiful. He's a little crazy. Don't think I'd want to put him in my polycule. So he goes below Jiyan, but I think he goes above Calcharro. He is a little crazy, and that's not really my vibe, but a lot of people like him. I don't dislike him. He's still hot. Phrolova. Now, I originally put her, I believe I put her in hot pretty. She has since been featured in the story quite a bit. She was very prominent in the 2.0 story, and she could still be prominent in future patches. She's not locked away like Scar is. Spoiler alert. Anyway, she is at the bare minimum, like every other woman in this, hot and pretty, but kinda want her up here. I'm hesitant though. She doesn't come across to me as crazy. Like her methods are a little extreme, but I like her as a character. Even if she is our enemy right now, I like her as a character. I kinda want to put her up here, but I'm gonna leave her down here with the potential to move her up. Cartethyia has the potential to move up. Brandt, Xiangli Yao, and Jiyan has the potential to move up if I become open to that. But for now, this is where we're gonna sit. We have our cute daughters. We have our wives. We have our lovely booty short girls. We have the hot mamas. We have the very beautiful girls. We have a whole cast of hot guys, even more than I have wives. And then the cousin has the weird kids. Yeah, that's all I really want to say about them. Anyway, yep, tier list complete for now. Until we get more characters, maybe in a couple patches, I'll come back and update this. But for now, that's it from me. Let me know what you think and like, comment, subscribe. Bye.